Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Wanted to take a moment and take a deep dive into this Fresno State program in 2023. And I got to start with this, like hand up. I was wrong about this Fresno State team. Every offseason, July, June, August, those kind of months, I take deep dives into all the FBS teams. Looked at this Fresno State team and you lose Jay Kaner, a guy that was really, really good for Fresno State for a long time. You lose your leading rusher, Marvin Mims, Jalen Cropper gone. I looked at this team, all the lost production that they had, and didn't really think they'd be a legit contender in the Mountain West. And boy, was I wrong. And I figured that out. Week one, took Purdue to cover the spread against Fresno State at home. Fresno State heads in and beats them outright with just an explosive offense through the air. Eric Brooks emerging as one of the best receivers in that Mountain West Conference. Mikey Keene really getting it done. You look at this team from an overall standpoint, top 15 in scoring offense, top 10 defense in terms of scoring points given up per game. It's a team that's complete on both sides of the football, extremely dangerous in this Mountain West Conference. Before we get into kind of taking a deeper dive into what I've seen from this Fresno State team, just want to say thank you to you guys. The amount of support you guys have shown the boys truly does mean a lot. This Fresno State team, excited to start talking about a little bit more as, big time on my radar in terms of dangerous group of 5 teams, legit Mountain West title contender. Excited to get into it. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, appreciate all the support you guys have shown the boys. And I think you have to start out with, what's the remaining schedule looking like? You're going on the road to Wyoming, 6-point favorites. That's probably, in my mind, the toughest game that is left on this Fresno State schedule. You don't play Air Force. You play Boise State at home. I don't think it's out of this world to be 12-0 going into that Air Force. You're probably going to be playing Air Force in the Mountain West title game. This is a team that's legit dangerous, and I wouldn't really be surprised that in the end of November, we're talking about, is this a New Year's Six Bowl team? Because I think they're going to keep winning, going to have my eyeballs on this team on the road at Wyoming, a team that beat Texas Tech at home. It's always a hard place to play in Laramie. Let's get into what we're seeing from this offense first. And it starts with the quarterback, Mikey Keene, a real kind of dynamic athlete, can extend plays outside the pocket. What's most impressive about Mikey Keene, completing a lot of balls, 70%, that's top 20 in the country, 14 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, taking care of the football. But when you watch the games, I wasn't sure if Mikey Keene had the arm that Jay Kaner had. Jay Kaner, when he was in at quarterback, you could attack all portions of the field, which is rare for especially a group of 5 quarterback. When you look at Mikey Keene, that offense doesn't really skip a beat. Mikey Keene can really rip it, can get it to the field side, can kind of push it downfield as well. I've been extremely impressed with what Mikey Keene has brought to the offense. And more importantly, these wide receivers are really talented. Again, losing a guy like Jalen Cropper, wasn't really sure what you were going to get. Want to start out with Eric Brooks, a guy that I found out a lot more about against Purdue week 1. Dude just gets open. And it's so valuable to have a wide receiver that just knows how to create separation, knows how to settle his routes in zone coverage, present himself to the quarterback. Eric Brooks has emerged as that go-to guy in this Fresno State offense, but you're also having some other guys emerge as well, right? Jalen Gill, a really talented kid coming out of high school, has bounced around a little bit, winds up at Fresno State for his redshirt senior season, kind of getting utilized the right way, getting his hand. You saw against Nevada, lined him up in the backfield, got him out in space, he takes it to the house. Jalen Gill has that type of athleticism, and maybe it just took getting into Jed Tedford's offense to kind of unlock that. Jalen Moss, another guy that's emerged and kind of caught my eye on some of these rewatches. You got Mikey Keene. You got a couple of really dynamic wide receivers. Now, if there's one thing that I would like to see Fresno State do a little bit better of a job of, is that's running the football. One of the worst teams running the football in the country. If they can kind of get that aspect going a little bit, a guy like Malik Sherrod, getting him in space, he's been really good with his limited touches. This is a really complete Fresno State offense that can kind of hurt you in a multitude of different ways. Now, as much as I'm high on this offense, this defense, extremely good too. Now, do we have some questions about the strength of schedule and who they've played? Yeah, sure you do. But you go on the road and blank Arizona State. Nevada couldn't really move the ball worth anything against this Fresno State team. You look at what they do well, they do a lot of good things. Well, let's talk about winning football first, creating turnovers. top 5 in the country, only 2.5 turnovers forced per game. You want to give as many possessions to this offense as you can. That defense has been doing a phenomenal job in the back end, getting their hands on football. And I think a lot of that is thanks to a really good passer. So they're sacking the quarterback, 9.3% of the time. And it's what's special about this Fresno State defense, excuse me, it's not just one guy dominating. Like, you have some guys. I really do like Bailey at that Mike linebacker spot. But you have guys all over that front seven that can be playmakers. They're getting rotated in and out. The depth of this unit has been really impressive, but I'm more impressed with just how well this defense plays together. And that's a result. You look at all the top defenses in the country, it's 1 through 11. Everyone doing their job. And that's exactly what you see with Fresno State. It's not one star just taking over the game for Fresno State on defense. It's everybody doing a phenomenal job. You look at their how good they are against the run. I mean, 2.7 yards per carry to opposing running backs. That's top 10 in the country. You look how they are in the secondary, a 52% completion percentage. That's top 5 in the country. This Fresno State team can stop the run, really stingy against the pass. Defense is just as impressive as the offense, and that's probably what's making this Fresno State team so special. Is they're just a rounded team that doesn't have many holes in their depth chart. And in the era of the transfer portal, when so many teams might have some star power but lack they have massive holes in position groups, this Fresno State team, they got some dogs. I'm not saying they don't have stars. Mikey Keene, Eric Brooks. I think Bailey's a legit stud at that linebacker position. But they don't have any holes. And when you watch them, no one's getting picked on. No certain position groups are lacking. And I think that's what makes this Fresno State team so special. Looking at the rest of the schedule, this is for me when it gets fun. Like, you play on the road at Wyoming, and if you get through that game, you have Boise State at home. Outside of that, I'm looking at this Mountain West Conference, which I think is a pretty quality Group of 5 conference, probably the best conference, maybe next to the Sun Belt in the country. I don't know if they're going to be dogs in any of these games until they play Air Force at the end of the year, and I don't even know if they'll be underdogs against Air Force. You look at this team, I don't think it's crazy that they go 12-0 heading into the Mountain West title game. If they beat Air Force, I mean, this is a team that you're seeing them project to be playing Alabama in a New Year's Six Bowl. That would be massive for this program. I'm going to be keeping an eye. I don't know if I go as far as Cincinnati vibes the last 2 years ago, but like, you're getting those kind of vibes from this Fresno State team. Just really well-rounded team that's going to win you a lot of games in the Mountain West. My eyeballs officially on Fresno State. They're going to make me work late nights over here on the East Coast. I'm excited to watch this program. Wanted to hop on, dive into this team a little bit. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.